Let's speak about reporting. Many people still build dashboards nowadays, loads of data on one screen, and anyone who works in reporting disciplines knows that it's very dangerous to leave data uncommented. So in this video we are going to present you how you can embed your reports into text, and you can still leave some dashboardy elements, but you can always comment what you are doing, and you can mix it with tables and any form of content. So it can be made very interactive. You can even make data entries, you can trigger sign-offs. So today we talk about layout areas and how to hyper-personalize your reporting. Welcome back to the MeshWeaver channel. Our job is to help you manage and understand your data. My name is Roland, and I'm here with Stefan to discuss interactive reporting and layout areas. We have received quite a lot of feedback to our video about interactive Markdown. In the meantime, we have made quite a lot of progress. So we have, for instance, deployed our portal under portal.meshweaver.cloud. On the start page, you also find all our details. And so you can, for instance, look at our GitHub page where all the source code is. It's MIT licensed, you are good to go. Or if you want to get started, then please contact either myself or Stefan. You will find all the contact details also on the start page. Hey Stefan.
Hi Roland.
So we talked already about layout areas in previous videos. So again, in my personal idea, I think we shouldn't just share the data. So many people say, hey, I want the data in a mesh and I want to get the data ourselves. We both know we were always in the business of not just consuming data, but consuming reports. And we both know that behind every report, there are millions of small data points coming in, and it's actually highly non-trivial to assemble all this data. So what I promote is not to just share data, but actually share finished reports. And so these are the layout areas. What I also see is that we get into this kind of hyper-personalization of content. So when I look at social media, everything is super hyper-personalized to myself. And I think the same will hold for data reporting, that we will really personalize reports for maybe a particular C member or a particular BOD member, or even another department, but that it will go more and more to personalized information. And at the same time, I also see that we start more and more writing, not just for ourselves, but we start also writing for LLMs, because LLMs are much better at dealing with text than they are at dealing with tables or charts. And therefore, we also always have to write text around the data we see and not just do this. And in my opinion, layout areas are like the key component. So they are the key ingredients, they are the Lego bricks that I can really give through. So maybe you can also comment, you were many years, you were an executive, you have consumed many reports. So maybe you can also tell us a bit what was your experience.
Yeah, I mean, you addressed a very important point. I mean, in the past, as you say, I was getting a lot of reports, but quite often these reports didn't meet the specific needs I had. So basically, what did I do? I had to go back and consume the data and then try to create their own reports, which of course is very cumbersome, a lot of work. And as you say, there's many things you need to know. You find out certain things don't work, or there is special cases, exceptions, and. So either you spend a lot of time until you get what you want, or you have a flexible system which supports you to cover your needs. And I think this is the direction we are going. So let's hope that this will basically make the life of future executives much easier.
And with this, let's dive in. So we see here, this is again this interactive Markdown that we were discussing already in previous videos. So here, this is our current blog article that we are discussing how to personalize these reports with layout areas. And actually, the beginning is rather simple. So we have here modeled the whole Northwind domain. I have mentioned this before as well in other videos. So the Northwind, it was just high-level summary. It is a demo database from Microsoft with some e-commerce data. So you have orders and order details and customers and suppliers and products. And then, of course, we wanted to see a little bit how this is modeled. So it's a standard domain that I think no matter which visualization software you use, they have always modeled Northwind. So actually, we can even look at the data model of Northwind. This is yet another layout area. Maybe you already recognize these are again mermaid diagrams. So I started really discovering modeling with Markdown. So I stopped doing like almost any kind of UIs, except if you need input. So it's very difficult to create inputs in Markdown. But just for one-way communication, Markdown is brilliant. And here, for instance, you can just throw it in a class diagram and it just renders this. So here we get an idea of this Northwind domain. As said, there are suppliers, there are products, there are orders. So this is this Northwind domain in a MeshWeaver flavor. Let's put it that way. And then actually we started this, we did last year, we modeled a lot of layout areas. So now I put them all in a catalog. And this is under construction. But again, we build in public, so we show things which are unfinished. This is one of them. So obviously, instead of this generic picture here, what I want to do is I want to really create a small little rendered picture of each layout area and put it in. I just didn't have the time to do it yet, but in one of the next episodes, I hope that I can show the updated catalog and we actually see here what it is. So some of them are just individual numbers, others are tables, others are charts. So we have here a variety of things. And if we only had these pictures here, it would be even quite simple to choose one. So we could now click on one at random. So this is a bit the dashboardy one here, which shows. So you see we start like really creating very small layout areas, right? So this each of these KPIs is its own single layout area, and then we can compose again bigger layout areas. So like here we composed a dashboard out of 4 single numbers and 2 charts. If I now have such a layout area, let's now analyze the URL. I call this the address type. Here, Northwind, it's an application, so it's app. We have other address type, for instance, article is one for things which are articles. Then here, I call this the address ID. In this case, it's Northwind. And then we have here just the layout area name, which is annual report summary. So given I take this segment of the URL, let's do a very, very simple feature. And since we use Blazor and this @ sign, it's typically the command to Blazor to render. I said, well, let's give a bit of an homage to Blazor and reuse this @ sign to say I want to render a layout area. So this we can just put like so. We don't need to put it in like fenced code blocks or anything. So it's really super lightweight. The only purpose of this here is to just say, let's say if you want to discuss this report, if you want to discuss this view, you can just put the link in here, then you get the report here. And now to answer your point that you brought at the beginning, and then I wanted something slightly different. So you can make it interactive. So I could now make it browsable. I could now go through all my years and see what did I sell in 2022, what did I sell in 2023. We can even change the view, if I like to show. This is now too small for this, but We could even draw it as table or as chart. So all this interactivity still works, right? So the idea really is to make a few of these layout areas and bring them, and then you can compose the interactive markdown from all these layout areas. Now, another way how we can do it is we could actually do it programmatically. So I do this here. So this is the other feature that we have seen before, where I execute C# code. And actually, I use here static MeshWeaver layout controls. This gives me access to the most typical controls that I could use. And one of the controls that we have is called layout area. And as the name implies, it will actually render me a layout area. If I use this layout area control, typically I have an address that I specify. So I could also specify it in form of a string. But normally, when we are in the code world, we use objects as addresses. So I instantiate here new application address, and the address ID is Northwind. So it's literally same as above. It's completely equivalent. I just rendered a different layout area this time. And then again, I see as the result, I see this. So it gives us an access just purely from the markdown to layout areas, but also from the programming. And now this, as you can imagine, this gives us then also the gateway to create layouts, right? So if I can programmatically access the layout areas like this, I could now put them in a grid and, for instance, layout 4 zones per screen. I can even make this responsive, and on the mobile phone they will all format vertically, whereas on the desktop I might have 3 columns. So all these things are then open to us. We don't go into this for now to keep the video to the point. But we will surely speak a lot more about how to lay out and how to create such responsive layouts. You see, a lot of layout areas are actually rather reusable. So we noticed this when we did the RDS Plus project together. You had these thousands of parameter types and small things like a line of business or a country code. And we had also bigger things, and actually it's not very good to program them out. And I think this was also one of the major cases we had to redo the RDS Plus, that I brought some technology which just brought these UIs out of the box without programming. It's also something that Satya Nadella has recently said in an interview, that he thinks that the time for CRUD applications is over. And well, his take was that AIs will write them. My take is we don't ever write them, because you can actually generalize it out. And if you generalize it out, not even an AI needs to write it. No one needs to write. So there are many, many layout areas that we just ship out of the box with MeshWeaver and that you never have to program. I just give a few examples below, so we will get more comprehensive in further videos. But I show you the catalog feature. So this is again from the Northwind domain. We have something called territory. So it's something that could have been also occurring in RDS Plus at the time. Probably there is something called territory, I don't know. And you see then, if I include this, I get this layout area. And you see already here, we try to not just ship the data, but we also ship the definition. So this is the definition that someone put behind territory and said what it actually is. And then we get the territories nicely paged. So you see it's here only 53 items, but we know if we showed something like Cresta Zone or something bigger, then we would have like literally millions of elements. So we don't want that we get here a big overflowing list. So normally you make them paged, and you see that all of this is working. So I can actually now page through. If I say I want to have them ordered by name, I can do this, and I can go back, and now it orders them all by name. So all of these things are working. If I clicked on one of these pens, I would get to what I call the details view. Details view is just, the view of one single instance. And so here I did this separately, so we can also include this separately. So you see now the way of doing it is just in the details, I can now say which type, and then again a slash, and after the slash the ID. So if we looked here for whatever this is, so we would find this number somewhere in here. And then if I do this, I get again to a single instance. And you see that in the single instance, we even, below the heading of each and every property, we also again put the help text, what it is. So it's really not just putting the data, but it's really linking up the data, all the semantic definitions of what this is. And if you have rights to edit, you could even now inline edit this instance. So because I think this is, I'm often asked, how do I get data quality? And I often say, well, data quality is when I see an error, I can actually correct it. And you see, this is exactly what we do here, because if I see that this is wrong, I could actually now just change it. I could click here the update button and it would actually update me this name somewhere, okay? That's what I have to show for layout areas. So it's surely a topic that we will do much more. If you made it this far into the video, please hit the like button, hit subscribe for more videos just like this. Happy weaving.